We want to be engaged in reality. Many social ills that are out there, by which we can tell people about Islam, and by which we can also aid and help in the betterment of our fellow human brothers and sisters. Why don't we engage ourselves in campaigns? Campaigns against drugs. Drugs are consuming our children, young boys and girls, be they Muslims or non-Muslims, where they're being wasted. Why can't we as a Muslim community say, by the way of the teachings of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he taught that khamr is al-khaba'ith, that all forms of intoxicants, they are the mother of all evils. He said, out of this, the Muslim community is hereby holding a campaign against drug and alcoholism. Why can't we do this? Why can't we say, the teachings of Islam are so good, we want it for you as well? When Islam speaks about, how we feel about alcohol and how we feel about this, and these are great. These are great values. I had one time a sister, she came to the masjid and she took her shahada. And I said, we all like to hear how do people become Muslims, because it's very inspiring. And sometimes our brothers and sisters who decide to come back to Islam, sometimes they see in Islam things that we really don't see, because we take them for granted. So this sister, I said, well, what happened? How come you became a Muslim? What happened to you? She said, in my company there is a Muslim man. During Christmas time in the States, the company sometimes decides to give people gifts. Sometimes they give them money, sometimes they give them all sorts of gifts. And sometimes the company decides to give everybody champagne. Or they will have lots of champagne and they'll just give it to people. So she said, this man, he had this look on his face. He was so worried. I came to him because he just did not look very good. And I said, what happened to you? And he said, I am afraid of the champagne. So what do you mean? He said, I have never touched champagne in my life. I am a Muslim. We are not even allowed to touch champagne. I don't want the company to give me any champagne. She said, what do you mean? He said, we're not allowed. She said, you mean you have never had any alcohol in your life? He said, never. If they give you the champagne, you're not going to take it? He said, never ever. She said, I want to see this religion. I want to look into it. And she started reading about Islam. But the point is this, people know the ill. People know the impact, the very negative impact that it is having on our communities, Muslims and non-Muslims. What benefit is it into us that no Muslim drinks alcohol, but somebody drinks alcohol and they got onto their car and they become a hazard to everybody else around them? So we as a Muslim community, we can get engaged in this. Why not have AIDS awareness days? Why not we say as Muslim community, you know what? We do believe we know why AIDS is spreading the way it's spreading. And we as a Muslim community, we have a strategy, and that is nothing outside of marriage. Nothing outside of marriage. We are going to hold campaign, awareness for the people who are infected either with it or to protect those who are not infected with it. They had a conference in Kenya, and one time they gathered about some clergymen, Muslim imams and rabbis and priests, and they said, we want you to tell us your perspective as to what does your religion say about the people who are already infected with AIDS or HIV. They said everybody spoke, and then came the Muslim representative to speak. And the people commented and they said, it was the most useless 20 minutes that were ever spoken in that regard. Because he got up and he started speaking about how fornication is haram in Islam, and in Islam we're not supposed to have any of these types of... But that was not the question. The question is, these people are already infected with the disease. What can your religion offer these people? To tell them what you did is haram is too late. That is not the question. The question is, what are you offering to these people? If a Muslim comes to our masjid today and he says, I made a mistake in the past and I have AIDS, do you think that the community will embrace that person? And they will say, may Allah give you a speedy recovery, inshallah some cure will be found, but until then, you are our brother, you are our sister, we feel for you, you are still one of us. You think our communities will do this? So we want to be engaged in these things. Why can't we be engaged in domestic violence? Why can we allow so much oppression to be taking place against women and we don't do anything about it? Where women are beating left and right and the Muslim community is silenced. And sometimes it may even be that this is something that is happening within our own community, but we do not address it. But the question is, brothers and sisters, is that we must engage in reality. And we're very mature about choosing what it is that we want to be engaged in. Why don't we have campaigns about child abuse? Why don't we put our masjids into better use? What's going on in any masjid between Fajr and Dhuhr? From 6 in the morning all the way to noon time, what use are we putting our masjids to? They're empty. What is going on there? Why can't they be clinics? Why can't they be a university where people come and they are taught? Why can't it be a place of refuge to people? Why is it just a building, a skeleton with no soul or no spirit into it? And then we pride ourselves, oh, we have got so many masjids in the area. But what kind of impact are they making? See, the beauty of a masjid is not in just that skeleton that you put together. Anyone can do that. And I am not undermining masajid here. But I'm saying unless we put our masajid into better use, they just remain a building. And I don't think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would be interested in just a building. That won't be acceptable. I was hoping that inshallah, with this short talk, that I will provoke my brothers and sisters, inshallah, to further, explore this idea. Look into this. Are we really doing what Islam said to be doing, or are we just talking about it? A brother tells a story. He said that I was once in France, and I went to the hotel. And in the hotel, he said it was my first time there, and I asked, I wanted to pray, so I said, are there any Muslims here? He said, this young man came to me and he said, Ana Muslimun, Sunniyun Malikiyun. He came to me and he said, I am a Muslim. I am a Sunni, and I am Maliki. I belong to the Maliki school of jurisprudence. So I said, I looked into him and he said, MashaAllah, which way is the Qibla? Which way is Mecca? He looked at me and he said, I don't know, I don't pray. That I don't know, I don't pray. Yet he claims and he says about himself, I am a Muslim, I am Sunni, I am Maliki, yet I don't pray. If what you believe in does not impact how you behave, then what you believe in is not important. We can say all the nice things that we want to say about Islam, but unless we put it into action, it just remains nice words. Nobody is interested in just nice words. People want to see. And at this time, as a Muslim community, we have a lot to show for. But let us begin by this. Care for humanity. We must care for humanity, brothers and sisters. And when we say this, we are not pretending to be anything that we are not. We are not pretending to be like anybody else. We are just trying to be what Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was to humanity.